Fireball! Greetings, citizens of the Imperium, citizens of the Inner Sphere, and all of you Final Fantasy nerds, and welcome to Let's Paint. I'm your host, Trooper6, and as you can see here, we have a nice Vivi from Final Fantasy IX. Why are we going to do Vivi? Honestly, I wanted to change things up, and I love doing these pop culture things. But as you guys might have seen from the thumbnail, stay tuned to the end of the episode if you would like to see my favorite Magic the Gathering deck that I have based on Kuja, the bad guy, the villain from Final Fantasy IX, the summoner of black wizards. So that is what I call my black wizard deck, my black mage deck. I also have the nickname of it Waltz because of Black Waltz number 3. I will get into that later in the video. Right now, what we are doing is kind of popping these and taking off the excess paint. These things are amazing. A little painter tip for anybody out there who hates trying to clean your palettes. Get the poppets, man. This like vinyl, plastic, whatever. Stupid easy to clean off things. All you got to do is pop, pop. You get a little bit of debris, shake it loose, vacuum it dry. Doesn't really matter to me. All right, Vivi. Here you go. Now, Vivi, I already have a hard time with this name. We're going to start off with matte white. We are going to do a slap chop method here. I have some Final Fantasy IX lo-fi music on the TV for inspiration, but also it's my little cheat sheet because Vivi is on the screen playing Final Fantasy IX. I love these little videos. They're really cute. So anyway, Vivi. As I was saying, I have a hard time with the name Vivi. The reason I have a hard time with the name is because I was messing with the deck, the Final Fantasy deck for Magic before I really got into playing it. Like I was playing Final Fantasy VII, I think, when I started the deck. I think I was just finishing up 7 around the time that I started with the deck. It's hard to remember per se, because I was playing 7, and then near the end of it, I kind of wanted to get a head start, so I started on 8. Ended up not exactly liking 8. For those that love 8, I'm sorry. I know what it feels like for people to not really like your favorite game, but try not to hold it against me. All right, I tried it. I don't like 8. I might try it later in my life, but at the moment, I don't really care for 8. So we're gonna move past that. But for now, right now I'm in 9. But my first game was Final Fantasy X. The reason for that, if you guys did not remember from my Cloud Strife episode, where we painted Cloud, is because I grew up with a buddy of mine, Rich. He was playing Final Fantasy X because it was like the latest and greatest hotness that came out, and it was so intriguing. It was so intriguing to watch. I loved Blitzball. I asked him to play it all the time. Luckily, he would humor me and indulge me. Come to find out, I don't even like the game of Blitzball. I love it in theory, and I would love to watch it, but playing it in the game, I never did more than I had to, because I just really did not care for how that game was played. I ain't no mathematician. I didn't feel like doing that. I didn't feel like grinding to level up the players and recruiting players. It's whatever. One thing I don't like in gaming sometimes, and I know it's part of the whole thing, is grinding. I don't really like grinding all that much. I understand that as part of RPGs. You know, it comes with the territory. If you want to play an RPG, give me 1 second. I'm looking for water. If you want to play RPGs and you kind of have to grind, I get that. It's part of the process. It's just kind of... It's kind of what RPGs are about. In a way. I don't like it per se. I just don't like doing it in an abundance. It's not that fun to me. It's really not. But I think Vivi is nice and painted up, highlighted enough. The only thing we're going to do now is we are going to take one of these. Ooh, I know what we're going to take. We're going to take this little sharp 0.5, and it's long enough and it's sharp enough because it's brand new, basically. We're going to get some white, and we're going to try to hit those eyes. This is where being a stickler is going to really suck. I don't know if you guys can see. My hand's making it out of focus, so I'm sorry. I don't want to have to repaint anything, and I'm kind of a perfectionist. So I'm just trying to get the eyes, because then later I can just paint it with the yellow with Imperial Fist and let that be done. I could go with some Tesseract Glow to give it a glow, but his eyes... they kind of have a yellow or a greenish glow to it. Maybe I will go with Tesseract Glow. I always figured they were yellow. So if I'm wrong, midway, don't bother, typing in your responses. I'm not going to see it before I'm fucking done here. This is going to take me maybe an hour, maybe. That's part of the reason why I like doing the slap chop method. I was not a huge fan of it before, but it honestly is pretty quick and very effective. I understand why people love it. And I also understand why some of the purists out there hate the slap chop method. But I'll tell you what, if it's what helps you paint, it makes you feel good about your progress. And if you are making progress, I guess too, who cares? Just go with it. Go with what you're having fun with. Positivity for that. So anyway, I know I just bounced all over the place. My hands are also really rough because I was putting together my new skateboard. That came in today. So that was very important for me to do. Those eyes are still not good enough. Anyway, yeah, so I have a hard time. I'll just start where I kind of remember. I have a hard time with Vivi's name because of the Magic the Gathering set because of the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering set. I started building the deck, and the commander, for those that aren't aware of that kind of stuff, for the commander format in Magic, the card game, it's you have what's called a commander. It is basically your leader of your deck, and you build a 99 card deck around your commander. So my original commander was Black Waltz number 3, and for those of you that know him from the game, right, he has a really cool card. I liked him, and his ability lets you, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, he does 2 damage to every opponent. So if you're sitting at a table like I usually am of like 6 to 7, God forbid, you're burning everybody, and it can be pretty fun. So when it came to the game, get my coffee ready. All right. When it came to the game, the game lets you name people, right? And I didn't really rename anybody. I just left it at what it was. I thought it was interesting that you can rename people. I left everybody's name at what it was supposed to be, because let's face it, that's what it was supposed to be. So I just kind of left well enough alone. Except for Vivi. Vivi, because I was facing Black Waltz 1, Black Waltz 2, and then there was Black Waltz 3, who was really kicking everybody's ass. What I did was I named Vivi Waltz. I also did that as an homage to the first draft of my Black Wizard deck. You know, there are a few things you can call it. You know, your Black Wizard deck, your Black Mage, because that's what they are in the game. They're Black Mages. But yeah, I named him Waltz in the game, and I figure because I haven't finished the game. I'm honestly not all that far into it. You know, Princess Garnet is separated from us. I just went to I can't remember the name of the place. The little rat kingdom that's it's kind of in the sky with the sandstorm that is protecting them. You know, we just did that, and the sandstorm has now stopped thanks to Queen Brian. I could never remember how to pronounce her name. So yeah, we're honestly not that far into the game. But facing Black Waltz 1, 2, and 3, and seeing that, you know, Vivi is having such a hard time because everybody looks like him. Everybody else is freaking out. They're like, oh, look out, it's a demon. And he's like, I swear it's not me. Excuse me. So that part has just been very interesting to me. So I'm kind of rolling with it. I'm seeing what's going on here. It's been fun. So I instinctively named the character Waltz, just to suit my own curiosities to how the story might be going. All right, that was sorry for the colors. That was Ultramarine Blue. It's not that well shaken up. You'll live. Next, we're gonna go with some Blood Angels Red. The Blood Angels Red has certain purposes in this. So Blood Angels Red is going to go around the hat here, because it looks like he has a certain fabric tied around the hat. Doesn't look like it matches the color of the hat, so we're going to go with that. This is a very nice model. Got it off of Etsy. All right. It looks like his gloves are a different color, but I'm going to go with brown for that. But anyway, let's go right here with these laces. I remember them being red. And you know what? Since we have the staff here, we're going to go with red for some of the straps that are right here. But anyway, yeah, so we are not that far into the game, and I decided to name him Waltz because I like it. I just like the name more than Vivi. I really do. But Vivi, he really is an endearing... I wouldn't even say endearing. He's an interesting little bugger. I like him so far. He's making me root for him already. You know, it's... I don't know what is going on in the little bugger's life. I don't know what his past is, what his personal story is yet. So that ought to be interesting to discover along the way. I also don't really leave myself much time to play these games, mind you. For those that might be like, dude, weren't you starting this like quite a few episodes ago? Like, it's probably been 3 months or some shit. Yeah, don't mind me. Like I said, I don't give myself much time to actually play the games. Part of that is just because I'd rather be doing other things than playing the games. You know, I'm always hanging out with my children, for one. And for two, now we're doing other things like skating, naturally. So I don't really, like I said, give myself much time for that. I'm trying to go to bed at night. But so far, the games are fun. The games are intriguing. But I think I do have to say, at the moment, my heart is still falling with Final Fantasy X, which I honestly did not think would happen. I thought I would like 7 more. And it turns out no. I actually prefer 10. Which is interesting to me because I don't really care for Titus. I hate that name. Titus is what I usually call him. So if you hear me calling him Titus, that's what I mean. But yeah, I don't really care for Titus. Sure, he's endearing, but I feel like I'm too mature as a person to handle an immature character like him. He has a lot of daddy issues and whatnot, and it all really does serve a purpose. Do not get me wrong. The character is well written, especially when it comes to all of that. He is a well written character. You know, he has his purpose to be there. He has his connections. He is definitely not a Gary Stu. He gets his ass kicked constantly, especially in the game. You know, you're playing the game. You're not winning every fucking battle. You have to be better and better and better, and it is tough. It is really, really tough. So there's at least that going for it. But it goes with so much more than what I've just been saying. I mean, I like the atmosphere more. I like the soundtrack more. I like some of the other characters more, like Waka. Fucking love Waka. That stupid little racist is so funny. He has a really cool getup. I like his hair. I like the whole, thing about Blitzball. I love it. Even though I don't like actually playing the mini game of Blitzball in the series, I still love Blitzball. I'm in that weird sense. Like, hell, dude, one of my playmats for Magic is a Blitzball stadium. I took a picture from the artwork and had it custom made because if anybody knows, which a lot of you do know me well enough to know, I love custom crap. So I have a bunch of custom stuff. And those playmats are absolutely custom. Speaking of which, we will see a card later in my deck when I go through it, and I have a playmat based on the art from one of my cards. That's right. Like, oh man, I want to talk about that deck so much, but I want to save it for later. I will say it's one of the only 2 decks that I have any wins to my name. It's that deck and one other deck. But yeah, so back to the game. When it comes to the game, Vivi is adorable. You could tell he's very, very much scared. Of course, he's going to grow up to have immense power. I don't know if, like, canonically he's supposed to be, if he favors one type of magic to another. I'm always partial to thunder magic, so I tend to use that a lot. And if I was able to level it up, I would. I don't know if I'm able to level that up right now. But yeah, if it wasn't thunder, it'd probably be fire. I don't necessarily care about the fire. It's a little cliche to me these days. But yeah, do love me some lightning. Shit is fun. Shit is awesome. Like, even back to the Diablo 2 days, I always got topaz things. And I was always doing that. I don't remember if the trim on his coat is supposed to be white or something. And I know his pants have stripes, so you're going to have to bear with me. I don't really have, I guess, the proper color. What we are going to try is that paint that I just pulled out there. And that is Eldari Emerald. This is a paint, despite the name, that I use for Alpha Legion. I use this for Alpha Legion. It's just what I do. Is what I do. Is how I do. Because it makes a really great color for them. You know, it's almost like a sea green. So anyway, let's just go ahead and make a stripe here. All right. Make another stripe right here to try to balance that out. All right. And we're going to make another stripe right here. We're using our janky brush, so this is not going to be easy. This is also not a smart idea. You want to use a nice brush for something like this. If you don't want to drive yourself nuts, I suggest you use something nice that you care about. Not to say that I don't care about this brush. I actually like this brush a lot, even though it's all janky. Sorry, I got the camera actually in my face this time, so I can watch what I'm doing, but I'm so focused that I'm forgetting to watch what I'm doing on the camera. All right, and that's basically that. He's not going to be the brightest model that I have, but it's the, you know what? I think Reikland Flush Shade might be able to color that ground. So he has tiles, and they're going to be a certain color, but what we're going to do is what we usually do for bases. I use the same colors usually for bases. I like putting things in the same quote-unquote world. So let's try to do that. This is Reikland Flush Shade. For those that know, Reikland Flush Shade is a shade oil. What I use this for primarily is to shade my wasteland bases, which I should do a tutorial on. I might be able to hit that up next week because somebody had asked for a trench base tutorial. So that'll come along eventually too. But the wasteland base will be really quick and easy for me to knock out for you guys. So I should just be able to do that. But let's see. Oh, there's a little strap in the back that I forgot to paint red. All right, so the Reikland Flush Shade is not exactly the color that I wanted to go with here. But that's okay. We always have to try things. Let me get my Blood Angels red back out. And we can do this little strap right there. Perfect. All right. And then for the little buckles or whatever it is on his hat, we are going to get out Black Templar. We're going to try Black Templar, even though Black Legion is thicker, darker. We're going to get this out and go for it here. So, I'm trying to move that back. That thing is a little coagulated. I need to clean that paint pot, or I'm going to have to get a new one already. It happens, my friends. It happens. But very itchy today, and not in the literal sense. Like, dude, I want to skate. I want to skate, man. Today would have been a nice day to do it. Unfortunately, my wife's beach day got canceled because it was just so cloudy out there. So her fun little day in the beach definitely got canceled. I feel bad. But then I was like, hey, if we're all here, we might as well just go to the beach, no. Well, we did not. Steel Legion Drab. That's what I should have been using. That's what I should have used instead of the other one. Steel Legion Drab. And then I can dry brush it with like Creed Khaki. And that would work. That would work. But speaking of dry brushing, what we're going to do is take some Barbarian Flesh. And get a little bit of Barbarian Flesh out here. All right. We're going to use that to edge highlight all the leather and probably even the wood. Well, you could use a different color for the wood if you really wanted to differentiate itself. Your mind is already more or less going to automatically kind of trick yourself into seeing the difference. I'm also going to get a little bit of gunmetal out. All right. Let's see. We'll see if this works. I don't know. Like I said, I also don't want to do too much. I don't want to swipe on the black. Oh, sorry. I'm way off. Right? Smooth move. All right. Yeah, we'll just switch over to edge highlighting instead. All right. Not a problem. Get your brushes. Use a cloth, use your arm, don't matter. And just swipe it along. We're excited too about an upcoming paint class that we have at a local brewery, so that ought to be fun. It's on the 25th. I want to say it's 12 to 2. Might be 2 to 5. I think it's 2 to 5. But anyway. And don't yell at me. I know when I'm supposed to be there. I just can't think of it right now. That's what I'm going to tell him. Be like, what the hell, man? You don't know when you're going to be there? I know when I'm going to be there. I'll be there precisely when I mean to. And then you'll yell at me for not being a wizard. I'll be like, yeah, well, it's a good excuse. It's alright. It's alright. So far, I'd say, at least for the game, we'll jump back to the game real quick. Of Final Fantasy IX, the story doesn't have me all that interested per se. I'm more interested in, of course, I guess the main plot of why is the queen attacking others? Why are they making black mages? How are they making black mages? You know, where does Vivi fit in to all of that? Where does Vivi fit in with that? Because that is a really interesting part to me. 'Cause I almost feel like he'd be the main character to the story, and not Zidane, I think is how you pronounce his name. I don't really care for Zidane at all. He's your atypical, like, not really crass. He's kind of a jagoff, man. At least that's how he rubbed me that way. He was kind of a jagoff. I did not care. I don't care for characters like that. I guess you can call me old if you want, but I just, I don't know. I know character growth is supposed to be a thing. I just don't. I just don't care for him. And believe me, it bugs me. It does actually bug me a little bit that I don't like him. Because, you know, he's the main character. Which is funny, because I don't even think, really, that he'd be the main character. Even though I believe he is supposed to be the main character. I don't necessarily see them or feel as if he's the main character. Because I have been more or less equally playing as other people. So I'm not exactly seeing what the hell the point is here. It's just, I don't know. I don't care for his personality. Like, oh, hey, chill out, babe. Dude, grow up. Don't be such a bro douche. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care for characters like that. And I know there is supposed to be a level of, maturity that comes with the adventure and everything like that. They're put to the test. They actually have real things to care about. And I know I see the atypical love interest of the princess and him. And Oh, I'm sorry, I just couldn't give two shits. And that bugs me. It really does bug me. I couldn't care, man. Couldn't care less. I don't really care for the character. And as I said, it does bug me. Oof, this paint is all kinds of dried out. That's not good. That's not good at all. Yeah, this paint is more or less dried out. That's a pain in the ass. But I never really do use my Steel Legion drab. It must be a little popped somewhere and has been drying it out. So what are we going to do as a backup? Yeah, see how it doesn't really sit in the back that well? Doesn't sit down? That's a shame. That's a shame. Give me 1 second. I'm also going to restart the Final Fantasy IX Lo-Fi. Let's try to shake this thing up and see what we get. There's a little bit of paint. Here we go. It's going to be thick too. Whew. It's going to be a thick one. Now, honestly, for something like this, when this happens, now would be a really good time if you had, say, a nice painting medium to thin out your paints. This would be an excellent time to do that, because if anybody has noticed, I never thin down my paints. Most of the time now, since we're doing a slap chop method, we don't have to thin down our paints per se, because we're using the slap chop method, so we're using contrast paints, which are already thinned. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people that can, argue the fact they could bring up a counterpoint and all that. I don't care. I don't care. I know how I paint. I know what works for me. And I think it could work for you too. Excuse me. Or you could at least take the technique and apply it in your own way. That's usually what I go with people anyway, is you listen to the lesson and adapt it to fit your style. And you will find your own style. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm sorry. I don't care for Zidane. I just don't. Steiner, the captain of the guard. He's your atypical, kind of big dumb lug, but full of honor and respect. Duty. He's duty bound and everything to the princess, and he has been interesting and funny. I will give him that. But of course, the person who, to me, is stealing the show is this little guy right here, Vivi, or in my game, Waltz. He is absolutely stealing the show. I love him. I think he's great. He is a fantastic little dude, scared out of his mind. Like, I'm sorry, but he holds the most interest for me. Now we're going to get out that Krieg khaki, even though that base is it's not even really that dry yet. We are okay. We are going to take this slow and steady, and we're not going to rush any of it. All right. But here we can avoid that one because that one's literally wet right there. I know you can see that. All right. But we can go bam, 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 bam. You can go around the rim. That was my initial idea, but the other thing scared me off. Give it a nice rim job. And we're okay. We're okay. Even though it was a little wet, we touched it anyway, and guess what? We're fine. So I'll be interested to see where the story goes. I hope I do finish the game. Something tells me I just might not. But I hope I do. But I'm also very annoyingly, I'm playing like 4 other games at the same time now, which I did not think I would ever do, but my children have even been asking me to play games. And they like sitting there and watching it. It's interesting. And I know even some people would be like, who the hell is going to sit there and watch games? Dude, have you ever seen Game Grumps or any kind of Let's Play? You know, the Fightin' Cowboy, Best Friends Play. I think Oni plays or something. I don't even remember all their names. There's so many different Let's Play channels out there. And that's what people do. That's all they do. They play the games and you sit there and watch. For whatever reason it might be. You're sitting there and you're watching. But I think it's interesting that my children are choosing to do that because they're interested to see what I like. They're interested to see what could be out there. And they know I don't really want to scare them or show them the wrong things. I will take my time to explain things to them. The only thing I regret really showing them would be something like Red Dead Redemption. Just because it is a bit of a violent game. It has some language in there, even though my kids understand you don't say these words. There's a time and a place, and now is definitely not the time, nor is this the place. I will show you the time and place, because language to me was never like it was for my parents. You know, I try to express myself, and I'm like, dude, that thing just sucked ass. And they'd be like, hey, watch your language. All right, my bad. I'm sure I could express myself in a more intelligent manner and use a fucking thesaurus, but, you know, sometimes you need to throw a fuck out there to get your goddamn point across, and they don't like that. I get that. It's all well and good, but also, fuck off. Let somebody express themselves for once. Even if you don't like the way it's expressing, listen, you know? You miss the message if you're just caught up on a word. But anyway, before we get into all that, so, yeah, they've seen some Red Dead Redemption. They've even seen some Undead Nightmare. They've seen some Fallout. They've seen some Starfield. They've seen MechWarrior 5. No, I have not given up on MechWarrior 5. It's just I have not been able to play it much. But they do ask for the robot game. That would be that. They even asked for Episode 1 Racer, because I do have that on my Xbox. And I know there's a new racing game. I just don't give a fuck anymore about modern games because I'm not going to spend $70 on your goddamn game. And I'm sure as shit not going to spend over $1,000 on the next console. With that being said, my goodness, friends, we are basically done. I can't really tilt him without him falling over, so you just best believe that we are basically done with Vivi. So, Vivi is there. Vivi is done. And now comes the time that I promised I would get the deck. And you guys can see my Black Waltz deck. So give me 1 minute and we will get that. Hello and welcome to the Magic the Gathering side of this. Here we go. I pulled this right out of my 4-pack box that I have that holds all of this stuff. We will go through this one at a time. Nothing has been shuffled, so we'll get through the lands, don't worry. And let's just kick this pig. Our commander is going to be none other than Kuja himself. Dude, I love this. So at the end of your turn, you create a black wizard. And then when you control 4 or more wizards, yes, he does count, you transform him. So that whenever you cast a spell, these black wizards will do damage. And I will show you one of the tokens that I have. I think it's World of Whimsy that makes these. Anyway, these, I love these little things. Opponents for 1, this wizard pings whenever you cast non-creature things. It is beautiful because it goes right off of whatever the original one was. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. So this is a group burn, or a group slug, if you will. I love this thing. I have 3 of those wizards. They are amazing. Here's a nice back shot. If you guys want to look at that, look them up. I believe it's World of Whimsy. I might be mistaken, but either way. I also have Dark Side tokens. They made these. I hope these are not AI. I did not check, honestly, because I just liked it so much. And they were pretty darn cheap, so I got 2 of them. So that's 5 tokens that I have. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Why the hell would I have 12 tokens? Why would I have 12 tokens? Well, I need them. I need them. So here is the shot of my game winner. And here is the shot of how it really finished out with 1 more wizard on there. And you can see, this is what I won my last game with. And I love it. I love all of that. All right, so on to the deck itself. I will start off by showing you what the sleeves look like. Aren't those awesome? We got Vivi on the cover. Hell yeah, and if you guys recognize the thumbnail, you would realize that that is what this is. I used to have other sleeves for it. They were just a Rakdos black and red symbol. Not the Rakdos symbol itself, it was red and black. I had those ever since I made the deck, and, well, either way. So, starting off, we have a Rakdos Locket, because you need mana rocks, right? You need mana rocks. Then we have Lindblum, yeah, if I'm pronouncing that correct. Lindblum, Industrial Regency. Now, I have every single card that lets you create black wizards. This one enters tapped, of course, but then right here, this adventure instant spell, I create a black wizard. So I can exile this when I do that and then play the land the next turn. I have a Gutter Snipe because whenever I cast a sorcery or an instant, it deals 2 damage to everybody. Love it, love it, love it. And then we have Mysidian Elder, I think is how you pronounce that. When he enters, you create a black wizard token. What do you know? And we have a Swamp. And here's one that doesn't quite fit, but it did hit the board. And it was awesome because if I didn't win, this guy was going to get me the victory. This is Bahamut. Bahamut, whatever you want to call him. He is a flying saga creature 9/9. I love it. So for the first 2 turns, you destroy 1 target permanent, non-land permanent. And then on the 3rd turn, I draw 2 cards. But then this creature deals damage equal to the total mana value of other permanents you control to each opponent. He is already a 9, so that's 9 damage going across the board. Now, say if I have Kuja out there, that's 4 more damage. And then if I have other permanents out there, which I did, as you saw from the thing, even more damage. It was ridiculous. I love this card. This was a chase card, and I pulled this. I just wish it was a foil. But this was one of my chase cards, and I actually pulled it in a booster, and I couldn't be happier. Another swamp, another mountain, old school mountain. Kind of an old school mountain. All right, Final Fantasy Mountain, Ominous Asylum. That is from... Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was from... No, that's from Spider-Man. That's funny. Okay, Ozai's Cruelty. So you have Ozai's Cruelty deals 2 damage to target player. That player discards 2 cards. Simple, easy, effective. Aether Sting. I love this enchantment. Whenever one of your opponents plays a creature spell, Aether Sting deals 1 damage to them. It's not much, but it's something. So one of the key words that was for this deck was not just wizards, it was group burn. Anything that let me burn everybody was pretty much something that I was going to consider putting in here. This, I used it in the specifics of the card instead of toward a target player. Disintegrate, a nice retro card for this. An old school bulk. So Disintegrate does X damage to 1 target. If that target dies this turn, you exile it. I love that card. I actually did use that on somebody. Rather, one of their important creatures. I can't remember the creature's name, so Get over it. Circle of Power. You draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. You create a black wizard. Vivi's Persistence. This card was essential. You even saw it on that screenshot of the playmat. This card is essential, man. I love this card because I was able to create even more. That's why I need all of those tokens, and I would love to get even more. I have Cremate. Remove a card from the graveyard. Draw a card. Awesome. Lets me exile something. One of the new mountains. I just wanted to show that off. I bought this for no other reason other than it was just part of the set. This is a Dark Ritual reprint. Darkness of Eternity. It's just a Dark Ritual. I get 3 mana. But I had to have it. I had to have it. And that card cost me a lot. That was, I want to say that was like $11 or more. Pain for All. Enchant a creature you control. Usually, I would enchant my commander. So, when this aura enters, enchanted creature deals damage equal to its power to any other target. He is already a 3/4. If I were to enchant him as a 4/6, that's another point of damage. But whenever creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to each opponent. So if I block with him, everybody's getting burned. Like I said, I always shoot for burn. So, a Thriving Moor, another Swamp, a Rakdos Carnarium, whatever. It's a dual land. It lets me tap for a red and a black. Lava Burst, another retro card. One of the old bulks. I love it. I spent $10, $30, something on bulk alone. It was amazing. Lava Burst deals X damage to target creature or player. Effects that prevent or redirect damage cannot be used to protect that creature. Boom. Lets me get you. And usually I use that toward a player. It's whoever's really that far ahead. I'm going to get you. Especially if you have life gain. Fuck you. Another mountain. Fiery Inscription. Now this enchantment, of course, is from Lord of the Rings. And it would need me to have a 1 ring on the field. The 1 ring doesn't even bother me because it does nothing for me for the rest of the game. So when the Fire Inscription enters, the ring tempts you. Ooh, I have nothing else that the ring would ever tempt, so the ring does not affect me. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this thing deals 2 damage to each opponent. Bam, group burn. Ancient Ruins! During each player's upkeep, that includes myself, Ancient Runes deals 1 damage to that player for each artifact he or she controls. This deck does not have a lot of artifacts, so that saves me, but there are some. There's at least one that I can think of off the top of my head. But either way, Redcap Thief. What do you know? When Redcap Thief enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. So it gives me a free little mana rock. Another mountain. Maximum Carnage. For those that hate the Spider-Man set, suck it up. I don't like it per se, but it has a lot of interesting cards that I use. So until your next turn, each creature attacks each combat if able, and attacks a player other than you if able. So everybody else has to swing at each other. And then the second turn, 3 red. Awesome. And then this saga deals 5 damage to each opponent. How could I not? It's a group burn, right? Another mountain. Another swamp. This damn card, I have a grudge against. The first 3 times I ever tried to play it, it got milled. And I was so upset. So anyway, the Destined Black Mage. He's a Death Touch. Just a regular human wizard. Another target creature you control gains Death Touch until the end of turn. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Destined Black Mage deals 1 damage to each opponent. If you have a full party, it deals 3 damage to each opponent. Full party would mean like a wizard, a warrior, I think a sorcerer or some shit. I will never have a full party in this deck, so it does not matter, but he is another group burn, and he was another Black Mage itself. So I had to have him. Mayhem Devil. I love this card because with how my people play, my pod, this really fucks them up. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to any target. So if you are one to constantly sacrifice your creatures, you mono black players, you're getting burned. You are. As someone who plays mono black, even I break mono black traditions. I don't really touch my life total, and I don't sacrifice my creatures. I'm not your atypical black player. Now, cornered by black mages. This is what my playmat is based on, if you guys remember from that picture, and I found a holo of it. Target player sacrifices a creature of their choice, and then create a token black wizard. Love it. I might have to pause and go get my children, because it looks like one is waking up. All right. Royal Eruption. This is a kicker. I can pay 5 more. Royal Eruption does 3 damage to any target. If the spell was kicked, it deals 5 damage to any target. So just another quick 2-drop burner spell. And if I have that much more mana, I can just burn you for even more. Now, here's a way for me to protect Kuja, because he does get targeted now. Is the Whisper Silk Cloak. You guys should know this. Equipped creature can't be blocked and has Shroud. Equipped too. Very easy. Artifact. Fire Magic. A 1-drop. It deals 1 damage to each creature, deals 2 damage to each creature, or deals 3 damage to each creature if I pay the additional costs. Very easy. I mean, it's a 1-drop. This is supposed to be a spell slinger, so I'm just bow, 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 dealing group damage to everybody. Now, I'm usually doing, that'll be like 3 damage, or if Kuja is flipped, that'll be 6 damage each. Lavaborn Muse. At the beginning of each player's or each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 2 or fewer cards on hand, this card deals 3 damage to them. Gotta love it. Old school mountain. Just felt like I'd show that off. And here's the Queen. A nice holo of the Queen, and her black mages in the back. Look at that. Prowess. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this person gets a 1/1 until the end of turn. So whenever she attacks, create a black wizard. So all I got to do is try to keep attacking. And if I can make her unblockable or whatnot, unless somebody targets her, I can just keep creating black wizards on top of everything. And it's so glorious. Harmonic Prodigy. I love this card. This is a new card from a set. So he has prowess as well. So whenever I'm casting the spells, he's getting stronger. And if an ability of a shaman or another wizard you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Now, if he's out there and Kuja's already out there and he's flipped, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 damage for 1 spell. It's amazing. All right, here's another enchantment for you. Ill-Gotten Inheritance. You guys should probably know this one too. At the beginning of your upkeep, Ill-Gotten Inheritance deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life. So it's also going to help me gain some life out of this shit. And then if I pay 6, I could sacrifice this, and it deals 4 damage to the target opponent, and you gain 4 life. There's no real reason for me to be doing that, but there's my swamp. Acidic Soil. I did get the chance to play this. Acidic Soil deals 1 damage to each player for each land he or she controls. I played this at such a time that everybody was like, you got dealt more damage than any of us. I was like, actually, no, because of my wizards, everybody took another point of damage, and it evened out, but we all took 6 points of damage. But I did have more lands than them. There's a cool full swamp from the Edges of Eternity. All right, Dance with Devils. 4-drop. You put 2 1/1 red devils on the battlefield with, when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target creature or player. And that's what I was using as blockers, so it was very easy. All right, you're going to have to give me 1 second as I go get my boy. Okie dokie, so let's see what's next. Another swamp, a Vector Imperial Capital. And, all right. Yeah, I like this one, but I haven't even gotten a chance to play this one yet. So it's a 2-drop, Smoke. No player may untap more than 1 creature during his or her untap phase. Gotta love it. So when you people like to come at me with all your damn creatures, especially you green players out there, with your big stop bullshit, too bad. There's a mountain. All right. Shenatos. Yeah, Coercion. Yeah, it's a Diabolic Intent. So, my 2-drop sorcery. As an additional cost to this, sacrifice a creature. Shouldn't be a problem for me with how many that I would have. Search your library for a card. Put that card into your library, into your hand, then shuffle. Diabolic Intent. It's my tutor. One of my tutors. Burst Lightning. So I'm out of breath from running. Burst Lightning. It also has a kicker of 4. Burst Lightning deals 2 damage to any target. If it was kicked, it does 4 damage instead. A quick little 1-drop. Saves the day. Does an awesome job. Here's Return the Favor. A little 2-drop. It has Spree. I can choose 1 or more additional costs. If I add 1 more, copy target instant spell, sorcery spell, activated ability, or triggered ability, and you may choose new targets for the copy. Change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. What do you know? Excuse me. That is a way for me to copy shit and burn you even more, or use your things against you, or redirect your shit because you keep trying to attack me. Why would you attack me? Especially you blue players. You know what I have for the blue players? This is the only reason that this deck, as far as I can tell, that is considered to be a bracket 4. Oops. Look at that. Boiling Seas. It's a 4-drop and it destroys all your islands. I love this card. I love this card. I use it every chance I get. I know how people feel about land destruction. I don't. I don't care. Destroy all islands. I'm here to win. If that means you can't win, guess I win. Black Mage's Rod. Here's another artifact. Job select. You create a 1/1. Equipped creature gets whenever you cast a spell, it deals 1 damage and is a wizard. So you just made somebody a wizard. There you go. Now here's one. Raphael, Tough Turtle. Whenever another creature you control enters, Raphael does 1 damage to any target. So if I can get him out there on turn 2, by the time Kuja hits on 2 more turns later, every time I create one, he deals 1 damage to everybody. So he's already burning people before I can even burn people. It's amazing. There's another swamp. Here's a good one. Smoke Bomb. 3, artifact, flash. All creatures have Shroud. That pisses everyone off. I love that. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Smoke Bomb. When you do, target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. So it's a little way for me to ensure Kuja gets to survive, but it also just creates mayhem, and it's so fun. Retro Mountain, because I love doing that. Here's another good one. Vincent Valentine. I have not been able to use him yet. I think I did use him last time I played. And I don't mean this last Sunday, I mean the Sunday before that, because we always play every Sunday. But he is a 2/2 legendary assassin. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, you put a 1/1 on him, equal to that creature's power. So he can get real big real quick. Whenever he attacks, you may transform it, so I don't have to, and I can just keep bumping him up. But if I do, he becomes Galarian Beast with lifelink and trample. When he dies, return it to the battlefield upright. So you have to destroy him in this form or exile him. You're not getting rid of him that easy. Hell's Kitchen. Another swamp. Cling to Dust. 1-drop. Exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, you gain 3 life. Otherwise, you draw a card. Escape. Exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. I can cast you again. I mean, sure, it's way more expensive, but it doesn't matter. Now, here's a good one that I like. Leyline of Combustion. It's a 4-drop, but it's one of the Leyline cards, so pre-game action. If it's in my opening hand, I can begin the game with it on the field. Whenever you, or at least one permanent you control, becomes the target of a spell or ability your opponent controls, this deals 2 damage to that player. That is a little insurance policy, and I did get to start the game with that in my hand. I started with a one land hand, and I took the risk, and I won. Backlash. I love this card. Now, here's a nice little retro card. Tap target untapped creature. That creature deals damage equal to its power to its controller. One of my buddies likes to play a little card called Tifa Lockhart, and he has a landfall deck, so he's very good at beefing her up for a turn. This instant lets me tap her when she's beefed up and instantly kill him instead. Gotta love it. Another mountain. Transpose. Draw a card, then discard a card. You lose 1 life. Then If the spell was cast from your hand, you create a black wizard. And rebound means goes into your exile and it comes back the next round. Rakdos Cluestone. Gotta love having your mana rocks. Another mountain. Rubble Rouser. When this creature enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. You can tap this and exile a card from your graveyard. Add 1 mountain. When you do, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Once again, group burn. He is open to dropping out if I can find something better, which I did find another land destruction, but it is a 6-drop if I'm not mistaken. To go from a 3-drop to a 6-drop drastically changes things, and I lose. It's a tough call, so I'm not sure if I want to do that. But we'll see what we do here. We got a Bloodfell Caves for another land, and here's Lightning Bolt, but Vivi's Thunder Magic, renamed card. Vivi's Thunder Magic deals 3 damage to any target. Bam, 1 drop. So everybody's going to be taking damage anyway, but I'm also going to do 3 extra damage to 1 person because fuck you. Masterful Flourish, a 1-drop. Target creature you control gets a 1/0 and gains indestructible until the end of turn. That is basically for Kuja or even something like Vincent. A nice swamp right there. Love that card. Dredge the Mire. Each opponent chooses a creature in their graveyard. Put those cards on the battlefield under your control. This is a way for me to steal your crap. And you can choose whatever creature it is, but it doesn't matter because now I have blockers. Fake Your Own Death. This is another way for me to protect Kuja. Until the end of turn, target creature gets a 2/0 and gains whenever it dies. You return to the battlefield, tapped under its own control, create a treasure token. So not only do I get to save Kuja, but I also get another mana rock on top of it. There's another swamp. And here's my Diabolic Tutor. I get to search my library for a card and put it into my hand. I love my Diabolic Tutor. No, I don't have things like the Demonic Tutor or the Vampiric Tutor, because I'm just not man enough to spend the $75 on those cards. I'm really not. So if somebody wants to gift me those, that would be awesome. I have a Smoldering Marsh and Stranglehold. Now this card really pisses off that pod. So this is an enchantment. Your opponents can't search libraries. Now they can't search through the library. That is key because a lot of people love tutors, and those guys have like so many bracket 4 decks, or even damn near bracket 5, like actual tournament legal decks and shit. So yeah, this stops you from tutoring, and if you would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. Fuck you, blue players. Twinferno, 2-drop. I can choose one. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets. Target creature you control gains double strike until the end of turn. So I can either copy the spell, which won't do additional damage, but I can copy the spell and, redirect it however I want. Or say Kuja gets double strike until the end of turn. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Epic Downfall. Exile target creature with mana value 3 or greater. That's a good one against my buddy who plays Eldrazi. And here's the only Planeswalker in here. It's Angrath the Flame Chained. Why do I have this? I think it's called Chibi art. Why do I have that? Because it was honestly the cheapest fucking card there was for it. I love this one. So it comes in with 4 loyalty counter on it, right? So if I +1, each opponent discards cards and loses 2 life. Bam. Now remember all of this loss of life stuff. There's a key thing at the end of this. So -3, gain control of target creature until the end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste until the end of turn. Sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step if it has a mana value of 3 or less. So I can take your bigger cards and keep playing them. -8, each opponent loses life equal to the number of cards in their graveyard. That is a key one because it's going to take me 4 more turns to get that up there. And then I can really burn you. Another swamp. Here's a little Thunder Magic. Does the same thing as the others. Deals 2 damage to target creature, 4 damage to target creature, 8 damage to target creature for the additional cost. It's a 1-drop. It's awesome. I don't get to play it much because I rarely ever find it. Sticky Fingers. This is an enchantment, of course. I can enchant a creature, has a menace, and it deals... When this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. When the enchanted creature dies, I get to draw a card. So, a great way to protect or enhance Kuja or really any other creature that I might have. key creature. And speaking of key creature, there's a swamp. These are the last 2 cards that we have. So we have the guilty one. Black Waltz number 3. This was the commander for the deck. This is how I started the deck. And then I upgraded to Kuja. Black Waltz. Ah, I love this card. I wish I had the full art, but I'm not that concerned about it. I also wish he was hollow. But then again, I wish Kuja was hollow, but it's whatever. So he has Flying and Death Touch. He's just a 2/2, but whenever you cast a non-creature spell, he deals 2 damage to each opponent. So he's already just a little bit stronger. All right, and with all this damage that I got to do, right? All that damage, it'd be a shame if I threw something like this out there. Gotta love the Mind Crank. Another artifact. Whenever an opponent loses life, that player mills that many cards. Suck it. Now you can see why the end of the game, I believe the Mind Crank was out there. No, I don't think it was. I don't remember off the top of my head now. But either way, the Mind Crank was out there in that match, and it was really screwing people up. But seriously, I thank you guys so much for stopping by. Hopefully you liked seeing my Black Mage deck. I love this deck so much. It is absolutely my favorite deck. It is one of only 2 that has ever gotten me any victories. The other would be Veto of the Dusk Rose. Naturally. You guys know how I would win with that if you understand that deck. But I will see you guys on the next round. I think the next round might be Battletech, and I think we're going to do the Bounty Hunter. How does that sound? You let me know in the comments. Until the next time, stay happy and healthy. May the Void Violet guide your brush. Peace!